All right, we're gonna do something completely different today. Usually it's just interviews and some features, but this guy here, Grimo from CYTOTOXIN, is also a vegan, very strong athlete, right?
Yeah.
All right, and we are here on your tour right now in the tour bus, and there's one of these topics that I always wanted to talk about, and that is beyond alcohol, drugs, girls, groupies, and all of that. How do you people really survive such a tour? I mean, you're now like 15, 16 days in a row.
It's maybe the 18th show today. And I mean, first of all, I'm happy to see you again. And I mean, we try to prepare ourselves as good as possible to get some stuff in the bus, to have at least a good breakfast, to have a good start in the morning. But I mean, when you're on tour, you have a completely different way to, I mean, you stand up like in the middle of the day. Sometimes you stand up and it's already dark outside. So you have a different shift and way to live. So we tried, I mean, I got some superfood stuff to have some proteins and carbohydrates, but it's somewhere lost in the bus, and there are some stuff on it, and I'm not really in the mood to grab and search for it. So, I mean, in my experience, it's really important to have good carbohydrates, to have good energy to perform on stage, to feel yourself ready to move. It's not about actually the protein, or I don't feel a protein deficit right now. And so far, I mean, it depends on the tour actually, because we are on the tour with big bands, United Cryptopsy and Aborted. So far, we have a really good catering, and it's tasty, and it's
not garbage.
No, it's tasty and it's nutritious. You got always nuts and like superfood stuff, and you're always ready to make something for your own. And it always depends, on the show, on the counter, and the venue, the catering you have. But mostly, I feel that I can just, serve to my body and got a good intake of clean carbohydrates with not so much fat stuff. And the problem is, right after the show, you have some kind of after dinner. It's cool, but it's right before you go to bed. So it's like the body has to deal with this change in your daily procedure as usually you have.
For me, this is totally fascinating. I mean, usually you have all kinds of fame going on when you're on tour, and there's also a certain expected behavior, which would be sex, drugs, and rock and roll and all of that, which all in all, for sure, there are legends that have done that. Let's say Lemmy, definitely, like the forefather of even rock and roll, if you want to put it. And yes, he was for some reason actually able to stay drunk and high for 40 years and then tour. Unfortunately, I never had the chance to meet him, but I assume that, I mean, the last pictures I saw of the dude, and I was actually at the last gig they ever had. That was in Berlin. After that, he died. That was scary. Actually, the gig itself was scary. So this is a topic that mostly is not really that much of an interest for the people out there. But how do you survive such a tour? I mean, even it's up to me. I'm also traveling a lot. Usually I am between Airbnbs and hotels and all of that, and it's hard to imagine how hard it is when you're on the road to really get foods. I mean, real food, especially in the USA. As I was there, it was like almost impossible to get fruit. You couldn't buy fruit, and if you had like bananas, it was like $5 a piece or something like that.
Even when you're up to the vegan diet, it's much more harder to get clean food. It's actually good and nutritious. But to pick up your Lemmy example, I mean, it always depends on the music you play. I mean, if it's just plug and play and make the music just loud and aggressive and powerful, it's maybe a way it works like the typical sex, drugs, rock and roll thing. But I think we are on tour with high professional band that play fast music, technical music, and you always have to be on point. You have to prepare yourself, you have to train for the music, and also you have to train your body for this. And so I think when you go on stage and you're drunk, it would not work when you play brutal technical death metal.
Well, yeah, no slip-ups. Also, the crowd knows to hear out the slip-ups.
Yeah. So I think it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll without sex and drugs, or without drugs, without sex and drugs. I mean, it's mainly the main topic is the music, and that is what I really appreciate, how professional all the bands act and how they supporting each other, and you learn a lot of them from them, how they take care about their own music. And so for me it's really important to take care about my own body, because that's actually the flat I'm living in. And so far I feel really good that I prepared myself for the tour with training and with food. Even I lost my food in somewhere in the bus.
So you were actually really intensively physically working for this tour.
Yeah, I did a lot of endurance running just to keep up stamina.
Intervals?
Yeah, intervals. And just to be ready, because I know there will be a different kind of living and daily procedure. So far, I mean, it's the 19th show today, and I feel good. Because
do you do any workout here? I mean, I
do actually.
A few calisthenic things, I assume, right?
Yeah, I do actually. We get some kind of little training group with all the other frontmen. Sven and Julian joined. So we searched for some place just doing some body weight stuff like planking, and I got some TRX band to making pull-ups, push-ups, all the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Just at least 30 minutes to do something for the muscle, and the next day we try to do some running for at least 30 or 40 minutes just to change between strength training and just running to keep the body in motion. I mean, you should not consider running or sports as an extra stress for the body. It actually helps to regenerate from the shows.
You're going to get also a bit of testosterone and a few dopamines in your head.
Yeah, you're getting out of this routine just to stay in a bus and wait until you arrive and wait until you play, and after that you just went into your bunk and then you're finished. So in that case, it's for me really healthy to step out. Even you got good conditions out there, some sunshine, you're running, you're breathing, and for me it's the way to stay healthy and strong for the tour like this one.
Why vegan? I mean, I know the arguments for veganism, but maybe you could expand that in your own words.
To turn into vegan actually was because of the moralistic content I felt in my body and my soul, just not to harm animals around me. And after this decision, I felt all the good things that came along for the body, like to support yourself, to increase endurance, to feel not that less tired, to keep it up even on stage. I mean, when I was much more heavier in my bodybuilding time, I weighed 10 kilograms more. I eat meat all the day, and I felt on stage I always have to decide between singing, performing, and acting. But now I can do both. So for me, it makes sense to do this. So, and even on tour, when you never know when you have the next meal and which quality you have, you feel your body stored enough energy to survive at least.
Do you feel the difference in terms of oxygen and body flow?
Yeah.
Definitely, because some people might not know this, but vegan diet is the only diet that is going to clear up your blood vessels completely. It actually can also undo some of the damage that you have done already in your life.
I mean, you always should use it or lose it, or maybe saying like this, move your body and the mind will follow. So it's like you free yourself from any kind of stress. Manu.
Hey.
The French interrupting. Recording?
Yeah. Just do whatever you wish.
Something important you do?
Need a coffee.
That's important.
What I felt when I consider the sport term, that I lost some kind of maximum power, because that is linked to the creatine you're getting when you having the diet that also consists meat consumption. But that's for me completely fine, because I realize so much effort in the endurance, like breathing more, and it's take much more longer that I feel exhausted. Even when I'm acting on stage like crazy, running around, jumping into the pit and being one with the crowd, I recover so fast. It just maybe takes some few moments, some minutes, and I'm back on the same level again. So for me, it was the complete right decision for soul, mind, body, everything, and the environment around me.
Now, I have been on several metal tours and a few times also on pop events. Now, what you kind of have in pop events backstage is tons of stuff to eat. I mean, we're talking here about, even if it's a smaller band, actually a smaller artist, there's tons of different things that you can choose from, and all of that does seem to be kind of fresh. They actually even had vegetables. You know, when it comes to kind of standard metal gigs, it's just meat, fat meat, rice. If you're lucky at some point of time, definitely.
But even if you got vegetables or fruits, it's mainly not so that the way I experienced, it's not ripe enough. I mean, even if you got a bunch of bananas or apples, normally I ate 6 up to 8 bananas in the morning in this movie, and you need ripe bananas for that. Otherwise, it would just completely destroy your stomach. So when we are on tour and we have some kind of bunch, like fruits, bananas, apples, you always can, or only can take 1 or 2 pieces because it's not ripe enough, and maybe your body is not ready for this kind of fruits. But I'm happy that it's enough amount to take some if you like. But like I said, I tried to prepare myself. The French invading. Yeah. To be just independent from the actually food situation you always have. But like I said, my preparation is lost somewhere in the bus. But let's
what did you? I mean, you planned for this, obviously, and what was your plan?
I can show you.
Yeah, very good. Because you said superfoods.
Yeah,
that would be totally interesting to know what that is. Oh, all right.
There's
some good standard.
Standard like oatmeal, just to have a good base.
Not sponsored by anybody, by the way.
No. And then it's my favorite one. It's called Bergsteiger Muesli with Dinkel.
Okay.
And there are a lot of nuts and rosin, peanuts, Sonnenblumenkerne, some sunflower, apples. I mean, this is a perfect start for the day, and especially
this and with bananas, I assume, is like a good
ripe bananas, and then some rice milk. And when I got this, I'm completely fine for the next 2 and 3 hours. So I'm feel myself independent from the food we get. And it's also good for emergency. If you have nothing to eat or nothing good to eat, just make a cup of this one, and I'm ready for the stage.
Like with hot water, and then it's...
No, like just, they always got some rice milk, almond milk. I mean, that's some kind of common, and it's cool to have it. So yeah, that's the way I survive. To have this, and I got off this one. I mean, it's 750 gram. I got 6 of them for the tour, but like I said, 4 of them are somewhere on the bus. Do you want to pass by, my friend?
Tell me, what's about noodles and bread and such stuff? There is like some controversy there. I don't think that there is any. I personally like it. I know I like the impact that you have early in the morning when you kind of really get that bread going on, and then it burns totally fast, and then I'm awake. I'm done.
Yeah, it's fine, and it's mainly that stuff that you get for catering on tour. Like it's easy to make some noodles, or to make some slices of bread you can take. Normally I don't eat bread, but on tour it's okay, it's fine, but I prefer rice. Rice as a clean carbohydrate delivery with some vegetables, but I also can deal with noodles and bread, but try to avoid the wheat as much as possible. So I prefer rice with vegetables and even some dark bread maybe, but yeah, that's okay. That's fine with me. It's not in my normal diet. Yeah. So I feel my body is reacting to this. Some kind of, what is this? I have to do it.
What's with the fruits anyway? I mean, do you get fruits here?
Yeah, but like I said, it's not that ripe status that I normally would.
No berries at all?
It's berries. There are some berries like grapes. It's fine, but not that normal amount I would take into my smoothie maybe to start the day. It's like for dessert, to have it just as a snack around, not as a meal or something like this. But you always on this tour I realized there's enough stuff you can take with you, even after the show, and everybody is taking anything you want to have from backstage into the bus just to stay alive and survive into the next show. It's nice because the other one's always grabbing the beer, and I'm searching for some fruits and stuff.
Beer is actually a pretty good topic there, because one big part of being on a tour for especially younger bands is getting shit-faced. Like getting drunk as much as possible, because it's essentially for free, you know. And then you're on a bus, you can kind of try to sleep, I assume, and then you kind of wake up as a zombie, and then you put it in again. And many, especially vocalists, do kind of quit with this practice at some point of time to kind of, they just don't get enough oxygen, as it seems like. You yourself, you don't drink at all, I assume.
Normally I don't drink at all. On this tour I had 2 days where I experienced some alcohol just for having the experience, because I never was drunk in my life. It was okay, it was fine for me, because I trust the team around me, that they always like that I'm doing this kind of experience, but they care about me. I was like, come on, stop, it's finished. But I reached the point by myself to say stop. And that was for me completely fine to have this experience. But normally I don't drink. Like I said, it's music where we have to focus and concentrate. So I also like to be focused and concentrated. So the other guys like to drink after the tour just to enjoy the moment even more. It's completely fine, because so far nobody get wasted like he has hangover on the next day. Because you always have stuff to do, like bringing the stuff out, building it up, bringing it back in the trailer again. So the team works pretty good, pretty professional, and so far it's fine. And alcohol is not that main topic. Like somebody is making it too much.
People do assume that is a big part of the metal game.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's mainly the fan scene or the way you're going on concert. I mean, you drink some beer, you enjoy the moment. But I think for the musician, it's way more different, depending on the music you make. I mean, some musicians come on stage and already drunk. Cheers! But it makes no sense when I'm speaking and telling stories about Chernobyl and going on stage and makes cheers for Chernobyl. It actually makes no sense for me to bring this content.
Well, you kind of lose some credibility there, definitely. And I mean, that is a fact. I've been also to some slam and hardcore shows where then in the end, especially the vocalist was that much. He was so shit-faced that he couldn't really actually. That he couldn't actually perform anymore. You know, like just swirling. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. You know, you gotta leave the venue. It's so cringy that you just want to stop there. But tell me something, please. Like, how is like your calorie intake? It should be like around the way you look like. Should be like 3.5.
Maybe, but I'm actually, or honestly, never count how much I eat.
Oh, really?
Or how much I should intake.
You're just listening to your body, or what?
If I want to eat, I eat something, and so far it's the same. Like, you drink something, you feel how your body reacts and how he communicates you. Okay, it's enough. On tour, it's a bit different because you never know when you have the next meal. So if you got something delicious to eat, you eat maybe some more just to store it. But I do not count, and I do not know how many stuff I should eat or how many calories. The numbers I do not know, do not count. So far I'm trusting my body, I'm listening to my body, and I feel good the way I am. So for the last 3 years I'm doing this diet. I feel the efforts in sports, I feel the efforts on stage, in body, soul, mind, anything. That's nothing I think I should change or arrange or...
Yeah, for me personally, it took me around maybe 6 weeks to get adjusted. You know, because the whole digestive system is like in all kinds of trouble all of a sudden, because you kind of put in some completely different stuff. But after that, much less sleep, better waking up. I do feel more intelligent, but I can't really say for sure that is really true.
You have in bananas like the serotonin. It's a happy hormone that brings you up and making you happy. But during the day it's been transformed from serotonin into ketamine, and it's a sleepy hormone, so you fall asleep pretty good. You just lay in your bunk, like for myself, lay in my bunk and I'm off. So I mean, for me it took, I think, 2 or 3 weeks that my body was arranged to this kind of diet. But it's okay, it's fine. It's the time it takes, the time the body needs.
And then you discover nuts as like the ultimate source of pretty much everything.
Yeah. It's completely good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Tell me, what is, just to clear it up, because the guys are playing soon, so we have to kind of check out the gig. What do you eat usually when you're back home, when you're not in this kind of an environment? Like, what would be like your daily regimen? Like, so if you're gonna start up, let's say 6 a.m., you wake up, and then you begin off with this and bananas, I guess.
Yeah, I prepare a smoothie. Consists out of 7 up to 8 bananas, ripe. Then maybe 8 up to 10 dates. And then I'm adding some fat source like coconut milk or a half avocado.
Ah, you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just adding frozen fruits like blueberries, strawberries, whatever I want to do. Some orange juice. And then I blend it, and this is my breakfast. I carry it to my working place and drinking it the whole day until 12 o'clock maybe, and then I got some rice.
Well, that's like 2 liters of stuff easily.
But I think I feel I need that amount because my job is pretty active the way I do it, and then I having almost every day rice, potatoes with some vegetables. And I'm doing myself some kind of vegan slices of meat. They're consisting out of lentils, beans,
all right,
and also like gram flour. I mix it all together, and that's my protein source. To use lentils and beans mostly.
No soy?
No soy. I try to avoid it, but even on tour you have soy and tofu. I normally take this in the evening with some salad, so that's my daily base, and I always have these little bullets with me and can eat it during the day just if I need them. So I also feel like independent from the stuff around me. I always got my stuff prepared, and even for the tour I'm doing it for the other guys. Okay, I've got this protein stuff just to being the band mother some kind, and have the stuff for them ready. And I experienced in making this, and I think they are tasty right now. In the beginning it was just protein and the meal has to serve you, but I think now it's tasty.
I actually don't even need that much protein. So fascinating. You don't
carbohydrate. It's more important.
Absolutely,
because, when you grow up, it's like you're building some kind of facility, and now the facility needs fuel to work. It's now making not that sense to gain so much protein in your body. Just in case you're like a bodybuilder and you have to build up more mass, that makes truly sense. But when you just wanted to stay strong and clean, you have to take care of clean carbohydrates. So that's the way, the philosophy I am following for the last 3 years, and I feel pretty good. And I'm also controlled by a doctor about my blood values. Of course, I got a lack of
B12, I guess.
B12, iron, and folic acid, but I supplement it. It's no problem.
That would be my next question. I mean, you do use like the normal supplements that you can buy in a drugstore or whatever, right?
I mean, it would be way more easier for the body to inject it, but I prefer just pills. And I prefer having a lack of maybe 2 or 3 substances in. I prefer this. Otherwise, in the meat consumption, you get so many bullshit and garbage in your body. So
that's incredible.
I prefer just to have this lack of 2 or 3 substances I can easily supplement. It's maybe no problem. So, I mean, there is no right diet. You always have advantage and disadvantage, but for me, it makes sense and makes myself free, and feeling free, also freeing the mind. And so it's what I can highly recommend.
Yeah, you're gonna get far more less inflammation overall if you kind of start doing this. And Grimo himself, who is now on a badass tour, is doing pretty well. This is like always a state of crisis when you're kind of traveling or you're on a tour. There is just no way to kind of get stuff done, and especially in the Balkans, when I kind of just travel around there, there's almost no way to avoid milk products or meat. It's like just everywhere. Then you kind of have to scrap the last garbage to eat it then, and then all of a sudden you're a fruitarian, because this is the only thing. You just survive on bananas and oranges, and that's it. And until you kind of move somewhere else, so it's like always a state of crisis somehow.
But I think it will be better in the future, or at least it will take some time. But I hope so that those nations that just need some time to build it up, to have more opportunities for the vegan diet.
It's cheaper.
It grows, especially when you're on tour with Aborted. I mean, there are also 3 vegans in the band. They ensure that there is some vegan to eat. Good. It does not matter which country you play, and that makes me really happy, and even more happy to be on tour with them, not as just because they are professional musicians. Also, they are really clear-minded and take care about their body and soul. That's really cool.
Yeah, and the last record was badass, bro. Television. All right, thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna leave the links down below to Grimo and his band, and I'm gonna see you soon.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you for the interview, and if you got any questions about diet, music, sports, whatever, just feel free to send me a message, and always support the people that support us. So thanks again, and see you on the road.